Hi, Yellow 6 students. Today is Friday, October 23rd. And you know what that means? It means our Quarter 2 Social Studies Portfolio 1 on Ancient Egypt will be due. Now, these are the areas that are being graded on this portfolio. One were your assignments. Okay, that all makes up one grade for the Ancient Egypt assignments. If you did the slides on these assignments, then you should be getting a positive grade. Then another grade was from the formative that you had taken. And the final grade is going to be on the summative that you will submit today after you complete your summative self-checklist to make sure you did it correctly. So those three big grades will be your final grade for your Social Studies Portfolio 1. Okay, so let's take a look at that checklist that you need to get done to make sure it's done correctly, I should say. So your Social Studies Summative Ancient Mesopotamia or Ancient Egypt Self-Checklist. Directions: read your Social Studies Summative, your written out draft, and I want you to check on this checklist and revise it as necessary. Okay, so the first criteria is, let's take a look at your topic sentence. Is your topic sentence an occasion, position, or a however sentence? Put yes or no. And if it's not an occasion, position, or topic sentence, then you need to write a correct topic sentence here. Okay, because that was your instructions to write a topic sentence using an occasion, position, or however sentence. Then, if it is an occasion, position sentence, what subordinate conjunction does it start with? Okay, so go ahead and write down what is the subordinate conjunction you use to start it with. If it's a however sentence, then write down the conjunctive adverb that you use. Okay, so if you use a occasion, position topic sentence, you will write your subordinate conjunction. But if you didn't use that and you use a however sentence, then you'll fill out here your conjunctive adverb. Okay, so it's one or the other. Then let's go into your star idea number 1. Does your star idea start with a transition word? Yes or no? And again, if you said no, you must choose a transition and write your sentence properly here. Then what transition word did you choose? Write it here again. Now, does your star idea number 1 mention rivers? And does it make sense? And is it general enough? Because we don't want it too specific. And if you answered no, please write it correctly, your star idea number 1. Then for your E's, did you use all the E's information you had listed on your T chart in your E sentences? And if no, bullet what you're missing right here, because you know you're going to want to include that. That's part of the E's, is providing all that details, that supporting explanation and examples. Then do you have at least 3 E's sentences? Okay, and if not, add whatever sentences you're missing, because you should always have at least 3 sentences, 3 E's for each star idea. Okay, now star idea number 2. Does your star idea 2 start with a transition word? Yes or no? And if no, you need to choose a transition and write the sentence here. Then what transition word did you choose? Write it here again. And then, does your star idea number 2 mention the weather and flooding? And does it make sense? And is it general enough that we don't want it too specific? And if you put no, write it correctly here. Okay, let's proceed on to the next page. Now the E's for the weather and flooding. Did you use all the E's information that you listed on your T chart in your E sentence? Yes or no? And if you put no, you need to bullet what you're missing right here. Type it in. And do you have at least 3 E sentences for this weather and flooding that you're supporting? If not, if you put no, again, add whatever sentences you're missing. Okay, now let's go on to star idea 3. Does your star idea 3 start with a transition word? Yes or no? And if no, choose a transition and write the sentence here. And then what transition word did you choose? Write it here again. Then does your star idea 3 mention irrigation and farming? Does it make sense? And is it general enough? We don't want it too specific. Yes or no? And if no, write it correctly. Then E's. Did you use all the E information you listed on your T chart in your E sentence? Yes or no? And if no, bullet what you're missing. Then do you have at least 3 E sentences? Yes or no? And if no, add whatever sentences you are missing here. And star idea 4. Does your star idea 4 start with a transition word? Yes or no? And if no, choose a transition and write the sentence here. Now, what transition word did you choose? Write it here again. Now, does your star idea number 4 mention natural defenses? And does it make sense? And is it general enough? Because we don't want it too specific. Yes or no? And if you put no, write it correctly here. Now for the E's. Did you use all the E's information you listed on your T chart in your E sentence? Yes or no? And if you said no, bullet what you're missing here. And do you have at least 3 E sentences? Yes or no? And if no, add another sentence here, whatever you're missing. Okay, it moves down to conclusion. Now, does your conclusion briefly summarize your star idea in 1 or 2 sentences? Yes or no? If you put no, add another sentence here, okay, for your conclusion. And does your conclusion retell in a different way what civilization you rather live in? Yes or no? And if no, write your concluding sentence here. Now remember what we mentioned when you did your step up to writing before? If you use a topic sentence that was an occasion position, then maybe in your conclusion, choose a different type in your conclusion. Do a however, do something different, okay? But you will summarize your star idea in 1 or 2 sentences, okay? You will need to complete this completely and honestly, this self-checklist. That's to help making sure that your social studies summative is great, that it's awesome, that it's fantastic, that it entails everything that you need when you write your step up to writing. Okay? So do your best. Remember, this is the last requirement in this social studies portfolio. So you want to do your best on this summative. Okay? If you have any questions, please see your teachers at office hour. Utilize your time wisely and effectively. All right, good luck.